What's up YouTube, it's Jacob from International Precision Engineering. Today I just wanted to do a quick video on this camera that has boogered up threads on the lens adapter. The first step obviously is to figure out what happened, right? And you can see in these pictures here that it's only the first thread that's boogered up, right? So somebody essentially cross-threaded it, but not past the first thread. So, and you could see that there must have been a burr or something in one of the two threads, and as somebody tried to tighten it, it just sort of scraped the top of one of the threads, the first thread, which is supposed to be trapezoidal, but it's not, it's triangular because it's real sharp. It just rolled that burr over enough that it couldn't thread anymore, and really what happened is it started to load up with material and stop. So on closer inspection, right on the inside of this, right on the inside of the camera interface, they have an O-ring. It's one of those design coincidences that the O-ring hits this shoulder just as that first thread's starting to grab. So what ended up happening was the engineer, instead of feeling the threads sort of align, they're feeling this O-ring. So when they start to engage, right, and this is, you know, the cost of this camera is a significant portion of a house, so you're not driving it in like the top of a jar. So the procedure was you lightly put it on and then start to engage, but it wasn't the threads that were engaging, it was the O-ring. So it just happened that as there was uneven pressure applied, the O-ring depressed, and then that first thread caught and went around and just sort of ground it out. So can it be fixed? Should we send it back? Is there a better way? I don't know, but my solution, first, my instinct is, well, can we fix the threads? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the O-ring out. I'm going to take a dental pick or files. I've got needle files. I've got a small triangular file. I've got the dental picks. And what I'm going to try and do is get into those threads and sort of just work that burr back. Okay, so if you think about it, it's supposed to be trapezoidal, so the top is supposed to have a flat, so this doesn't happen. But if you have real sharp triangular threads, it just sort of like bends over like this and leans into that thread, and it can't bite. So you just got to take the pick and work it back, work that burr back, bring it back, and then even with the file, sort of like dull that tip down so that it doesn't happen again. That's the plan. If I can't get it to work, the next thing is to take this piece off and put it on the lathe and actually recut the threads. And if that doesn't work, we can make a whole new one. So this is probably an F-mount camera interface on there, and then there's this sort of adapter that takes it down to a 1-inch lens. So if I have to remake this, I won't make it 2-piece. I'll just make the one piece that goes on and then the normal 1-inch thread that goes into it. So it'll just be one piece that bolts on. Hopefully I won't have to do that, and we could just fix these threads, but let's see what happens. mission successful. It's in, it threads in nice. If you sort of can know that you have to pop through the O-ring first and then thread in. So what my procedure for assembly was is I sort of threaded it in backwards to sort of get the O-ring to sort of slip up the surface. And then once I felt the threads turning and then popping down, I'd go a little bit more just to make sure I was past the burr and then start threading, and it went right in. So a little bit of patience, some cheap tools, dental picks, needle files. This is a $60,000-$70,000 camera, so I think the critical thing, even above the cost of the camera, is the downtime. So a couple hours, a little bit of patience, taking your time, figuring out why it happened in the first place, and then don't let it happen again. Mission accomplished. See you next time.